Today is Saturday, December 7th,
Pearl,
2019.
Pearl Harbor Day.
What?
Pearl Harbor Day.
Pearl Harbor Day. Okay, okay. We started the interview a couple of weeks ago and we're doing the second part today. I'm going to start this part we had already covered, but we're redoing it. Ron's childhood and his family, and then we'll go into his faith. So tell us about the pets you had: King, a pet skunk, and raccoons.
Oh my God, I had lots of them, but King was my dog, and I was about 6 months old when the dad got the dog, and I had that dog with me for 16 years. I was 16 years old when he died,
Okay.
and he went everywhere I went. And I remember one time that we were riding in the back of Dad's pickup truck, and some other dogs came barking out, and King jumped out of the back of the truck to get them dogs. He skinned up the side of his face when he hit the pavement.
Uh-huh.
But he lived through it. And one other time, there was a factory close, about a block, about a block away from our house, that made brake linings and stuff, asbestos. And they put all their waste material out in back, and it's not fenced in. And I was walking over there with the dog, and there's a crust over that material, and I was barefoot, and when I stepped through that crust, it goes down, that stuff is molten hot down underneath. So boy, I got my feet burnt, and the dog got his feet burned a little bit. And that was a mess. But then I had, over the years, I've had crows and possums and raccoons that I'd catch and raise them. A lot of times I get them and raise them till they're adult and then turn them loose.
Now you had a skunk also, right?
Yeah, I even had a skunk. And the skunks and the possums are not as what I call lively as a raccoon. You know, they don't do funny things like the raccoons do.
Like, for example?
Oh, well, the raccoons will always have their feet, and they use them to work stuff with and play with them and stuff. And the skunks and the possums just walk around doing nothing.
I remember you sharing a story about the crow.
Oh, yeah, I've had a number of crows we raised over the years too. And I remember one time, this is when I was older, not when I was young, but when we lived here in Beach Park, we had a couple incidents. We had a crow that would follow the kids to school. We raised it, and when David then walked to school, it would follow him. And when David is in his classroom, that crow was outside pecking on the window.
Uh-huh.
And then the teacher told him to get his crow out here. And David said, well, this ain't my crow. He can fly anywhere he wants to. And we had another time incident with the crow got into the church over there, and it was lit up on the crucifixion. Father Hayes was the pastor at the time. That was years ago. And he just got hollered at it, get that crow out of here. So we went down by the door and opened the door, and then kind of gave him a little call, and he come down and flew on our shoulder and walked out with him. But after we left, Father Hayes was laughing. He thought it was funny too. But
Uh-huh.
that was a funny incident.
Now, crows are not common to have as pets, are they?
Well, no, they not as far as regular pets, but what they do is when they're young, they'll stay with you and they'll hang around with you. But when they get over about a year old, when they go out for their mating season stuff, they kind of tend to leave.
Uh-huh.
But up until that time, wherever you go, they go. They follow you around like you're the parent, because you raised them when they were little.
Okay.
You're the parent, you know. So.
This is the first time I'm hearing about crow, as a pet, even for a little while.
Yeah, when they're little, and they're comical as all get out. I remember I was working on my car out here, and the crow went down and got my sockets and took them up on the roof and put them in the rain gutter. So I had to go get a ladder, go get my tools back. Oh.
Any more story about the raccoon or any of the pet?
Oh, let's see. No, I can't think of anything.
So what's your favorite animal?
Oh, as far as I suppose as far as regular household type of animal, I think I like the dog better than the cat.
And how many dogs have you had?
Oh, we've had, okay, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Had 5 dogs so far.
Were they all the same kind?
No, I had the king, but then I had a half a collie mixed with another dog, and then we had 3 full-blooded collies.
Okay. And the one that you have right now is a full blood also?
Yeah.
That's Flambeau, right?
Flambeau, yeah.
Okay.
Well, we had the ones that looked like Lassie. They all were named Flambeau. One's Flambeau 1, Flambeau 2, and this is Flambeau 3.
Okay. It's a beautiful dog.
Yeah, they look like Lassie
And he's very gentle too.
at times, but he wants to play too bad. He'll jump up on you, put his feet up on your chest.
Uh-huh. Okay. Tell us about the fishing in the Wabash River.
Oh, yeah, that was in Indiana where I grew up. I grew up in Huntington, Indiana. And I spent a lot of time in the rivers, wading and fishing, and catching channel catfish in the Wabash River, and in the little river that came into the Wabash, but went through Huntington. That river there, I caught bass and carp in that, and some bullhead catfish, but the Wabash got you the bigger fish, the bigger catfish.
What's the biggest catfish you caught?
Oh, it's about 32 inches.
Wow.
They get upstream from the Mississippi. They're the Mississippi blue cats.
Okay.
They got channel catfish and the bullhead catfish and the bluehead.
Okay.
Blueheads get pretty good size, but I only caught about 2 of them in the Wabash, but they got pretty good size.
So are the bullhead the biggest?
No, bullheads are little. They only get 12 inches to 15 inches. Maybe.
And which is the biggest one?
The blue cats.
Okay, okay.
Mississippi blue cats.
What are your best memories of your childhood?
Oh, I just think being always walking places. I always went everywhere walking, and I would wade creeks and rivers, and we had some limestone quarries that we would go and fish. After they cut the stone out of them, they stopped pumping the water out, and they just let it fill up, and then they had fish in them. And we caught a lot of fish there, too. But I just enjoyed the outdoors as a child. And I remember when I was probably, before I was in high school, my dad and Grandpa had tents. They would go out to the Wabash River and put up their tents.
Okay.
And Dad and Grandpa, Delta Mitten, would go to work, and Grandma and my mom would be out there all day long, by the tents, and we'd be fishing in the Wabash River and eating all kinds of good stuff. And so that was always camping out. They'd be there for like 30 days.
Wow.
And drive back and forth to work.
Nice.
So we lived along outdoors a lot.
Tell us some of your favorite stories about getting into mischief, smoking, etc.
Well, that's a funny one there too. My cousin and I ran around together, and he started smoking, and I didn't start right then, but I decided, well, I'll try it. So I went and got a corncob pipe and Prince Albert tobacco in a metal can.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to smoke in that, and I had what they call a soapbox derby car that we built, hand built. So I had it put the pipe and the tobacco under the hood there where you could see it if you had your head down. Well, my mom went out one day pulling the weeds around the edge of the house, and she looked over there and saw that. And so when I come in for lunch, I wondered why my plate was covered over. It had my plate covered up. And when they said, let's go eat, and then they did a prayer, and they said, take off your plate and eat. And then they started laughing as soon as I saw that. And they said, this is what you're going to have to smoke first before you eat. And they said, but if you don't want to smoke it, then we will get rid of it and don't never smoke at all. And I said, well, just get rid of it and I won't smoke. And I never did.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
What is your favorite food, Ron?
Oh, golly, all kinds of it. I like shrimp, and I like clam chowder, of course, steaks, and roasting ears, corn, sweet corn.
Okay.
But that's probably it. And then I like strawberry shortcake for a dessert. I like that.
How about spaghetti?
Oh yeah, that's something we had a lot of is spaghetti and hamburger mix with spaghetti sauce. That was good.
Potatoes, gravy?
Potatoes and gravy. And one thing that we did that every spring when I was young, in the 30s, in the spring my mom and grandma would go out and get dandelion greens.
Okay.
And they would get them to get a bushel basket full of them, and they sit around cleaning them, taking off the big leaves. Excuse me, and clean them, and then make it up just about like you would a lettuce salad.
Okay.
But it'd be dandelions, and they were pretty good. That was in the 30s when had a lot of problems with jobs and stuff.
Okay. How about your favorite color?
I don't know. I got a lot of them. Most of it probably green and blue. Just a minute. Sorry.